My name is Kristen Baumgartner, and I'm with Baracus Blum Computer Consulting. Today, I'll be showing an overview of the functionality in the Sage 100 payroll module. Baracus Blum Computer Consulting has been selling and implementing Sage products for over 30 years and is one of the top Sage 100 solution providers in the country. We are dedicated to helping our clients continuously improve and have industry expertise that comes from years of experience and real-world knowledge. In today's presentation, I'll be reviewing what the payroll module is used for, the main data stored within the module, and the main transactions. Payroll is primarily used for the payroll setup options, including but not limited to earnings codes, deduction codes, and tax profile maintenance. Along with employee maintenance and payroll data entry, payroll reporting is also run from this module. The transactions processed in payroll roll up to the general ledger. Sage 100 Payroll is an optional Sage module that can be updated independently from the core Sage 100 install, and customers that wish to process payroll in-house would use this module. So let's take a look at payroll within our Sage environment. As I previously mentioned, Sage 100 Payroll can be updated independently from your Sage 100 version. Sage 100 Payroll is fully integrated into your Sage 100 environment, but it does have its own installer and is installed separately from your core Sage 100 system. You can find this information by going to your Help menu and your Sage 100 About tab. This will show you your current Sage 100 version. Here we're seeing my 2023 version, along with your current payroll version that you have installed within the system. Sage 100 Payroll being independent from the Sage 100 install allows payroll updates to be installed quickly instead of having to update or upgrade the entire system. On the left-hand side of my screen are the modules that I have access to based on my security roles. We're going to start in the Sage Payroll module. We're going to start off in our setup options because there are quite a few that are required for payroll processing. The first one we're going to touch on is our tax profile maintenance. This is where tax profiles are set up so employees are taxed correctly based on where they work and live. As an example, we're going to look at one of our previously set up ones, which is for Wisconsin. This is defined as being works and lives in Wisconsin, and you can see my associated tax group details showing for that scenario. You are able to set the employees up where you can have them work in one location and then live in a different area. So if I were to select a nearby location like Illinois, here I could say this is my residence, and I could continue to set up my tax group details. It is important to note that the tax calculation engine for Sage 100 is an externally stored database, and it does all the calculations and keeps track of all updated tax rules in real time. You can regularly update the tax rules and rates in payroll without having to require a new install of the software. Sage does produce a handy update message when you're accessing the payroll options, and updates are available at the same time. It is important to run the updates to keep all your tax information up to date. Tax profile maintenance is helpful and required for setting up your employees. We're also going to take a look at our time off maintenance. Time off maintenance allows us to add different types of time categories. And in those time categories, I'm just going to pull up and show you a list of what I currently have within my system. You can set up things like carryover rules along with your different accrual rules. You can set up as many of these options as you like, and these time off rules can then be applied to employees as you're processing their payroll. There are many setup options for Sage 100 Payroll, and they are going to be specific to your organization. You can see from our list here, we have things like our bank code maintenance to be able to set up multiple banking codes if you're utilizing them. We have earnings code maintenance set up. We have things like deduction code maintenance set up as well. Payroll options is where you can enable direct deposit. You can, for an example, also look to how you want to manage your workers' comp. Direct deposit and positive pay can also be configured within the system. We just really want to touch on and give you a flavor of what the system capabilities are. Reviewing all these options in detail could easily take a few hours, and in this overview presentation, we just want to expose you to some of these options. In our main tab back at the top of our screen, this is where we house our employee maintenance, which is one of the most used tasks in payroll. This is where you can update all specific information for your employees to flow through to their paychecks. Now, as an example, I do want to show you here specifically for my demo company, I do have a social security number showing within this employee's record. I want to point out that this is masked to me. This is based on Sage security that I have enabled for this my particular user and can be enabled or disabled for individual employees accessing the Sage 100 system by their Sage roles. In Sage role maintenance and security, you can set up which employees access payroll, what transactions they have access to, what information they have access to. And Sage Payroll also has its own separate security maintenance to help you control access. Department maintenance in the Sage Payroll setup menu is where additional security can be enabled to allow payroll users access only to see things like their employees within their approved departments. So this is a very security enriched environment that we're going to be working in. In employee maintenance, we can see common things like our addresses, our pertinent dates as far as our employee. We can see things like emergency contact information, our cumulative benefit information, cumulative tax information, and our tax rules that we are setting up. We can look at our pay defaults. We can look at our earnings. We can look at how our deductions have been calculated so far. And we can also see this employee's particular pay history. Now, one of the benefits of having payroll within your environment is by a simple click here, I am able using functionality to drill directly into those check details. This allows a very seamless use of the system without having to change and leave the screen, go to multiple different tasks. If you choose to auto pay employees, these pay defaults and employee maintenance are what will be used. And these employee records are maintained so we can easily and seamlessly process our payroll within Sage 100. To process payroll, we're going to go through a very specific set of steps, and they can vary slightly for your company, especially if you're using direct deposit, but it is a pretty straightforward process. On our main menu, where the first thing we would start with would be our payroll data entry. This is where we can enter our accumulated hours. I do want to show you, this is the message I referred to earlier, where I'm getting prompted by my system that a payroll tax update is available for download. Again, we recommend that you always click yes to this message so that you will be able to update and have the most current tax rates available in your system. I'm going to hit no right now just to keep our demo moving forward. In our payroll data entry, this is where we're setting up the rules for our pay cycle, such as what variation of our pay cycle we're using, what our accumulated hours are. We do the settings for the start and the end dates, our days worked. Everything is set up within this module for the run that we're going to be working on. After payroll data entry, our next step would be payroll tax calculation. This would again be prompting for all the correct tax rules, making sure that all the taxes are being applied correctly to the payroll that we are going to be processing. Farrakis Blum recommends that your next step be the pre-check register. We recommend this because this is an easy way we can review the checks that are going to be created and look for any major discrepancies that we can correct and resolve before the checks are actually processed. From here, we would go into check printing and then our check register and update. Now, if you are using direct deposit and you have that enabled within your options, we do have a separate process for our direct deposit processing that is in this sub menu down here. This will take you through your own task list to take you through the steps for your direct deposit process. One of the benefits of running payroll directly from Sage 100 are the reporting options because everything is now accumulated into one system. These reports are based in crystal forms and can be modified if necessary as well. Some of the most common reports I would like to point out would be things like our quarterly tax report, our pension plan history report. We also have a workers' comp report, certified payroll processing, time accrual off report, and our quarterly unemployment report. Now, I do want to show that here, a few simple clicks allows you to run reports directly from your system. And if you are using Sage 100 Paperless Office, you could also be PDFing this information, archiving this information, emailing off different reports to departments or managers. And you can also use Sage Paperless Office to send direct deposit pay stubs to your employees directly and even add password protection to the documents. Just something to keep in mind as far as the integration within one system. When it comes to your year-end processing, Sage 100 Payroll can assist with tax filings, W-2s, 1099s, etc. Sage 100 uses software called Atrix, and it's used for e-filing and printing of your information. Customers can pay to use Atrix to file for you, or you can print the documents for yourselves. For most organizations, electronic filing is now a requirement. But even if you are processing electronically, through Atrix, you can still print out copies for your own records if you would like to. For any Sage 100 customer that would be e-filing, you will need the e-filing software installed on the workstation running payroll, and BBCC can assist if you've got questions on this process. This video covered the basics of the payroll module. Since Sage 100 Payroll is such a robust module, we've only scratched the surface of key areas in the process. I want to thank you for your time today. And if you would like a more in-depth look at Sage 100 Payroll for your organization's specific needs, please reach out to the Veracruz Plum Computer Consulting team.